Okay, welcome everyone. What a game. What a game. So you've reached Grandma Mo covering the best of three again, the Aces against the Storm. Oh my God, what a game. The last minute was like Aces get a tip from Jackie Young, then, or rather, Seattle gets the ball. Erica Wheeler's a 2-on-1, pulls up for a short mid-range and gets the basket, puts them up by one. The Aces timeout, go down the floor. Wilson takes a shot. She misses, but Young is right under the hoop and taps it in, gives him the lead. So there's, I don't know how many seconds. It was like 12 seconds left. Seattle timeout, get a shot up, and they don't make, and they get the rebound, and then they try and put it back up. And the weird thing is the lights went off. Before the ball actually hits the rim, the lights went off. They like shut that. I've never seen that before. That was weird. But you know, Seattle blew some layups. Oh my goodness. Malanga had a wide open one. Diggins had one right there at the end in the fourth quarter. Just wide open layup, and she missed it. It was like there were just too many of those situations that, you know, Seattle just needed to convert those, and they just didn't. And the Aces eke out the win. But whew, what a great game. What a great game. Just really fast-paced. Great game from Erica Wheeler. Diggins played well. I mean, they missed some shots, but, you know, and then they kept feeding Asia Wilson. But, you know, my big beef with Seattle this whole year has been help defense. I don't know how many layups Asia Wilson got because there was no help. It's like when they had Ezzy on her or they had Malanga on her, if she got by, there was no help. There was no swarming. Like, who else are you going to, like, make somebody else beat you? She scored 38 points. I don't know. It's too bad. I mean, Seattle played, they played well, but they missed some shots that they should have made. Just easy shots, and then they were giving up those darn layups again. Just disappointing, you know. But that's been Seattle's thing all year. They don't have good help defense. And boy, there were a lot of layups. Just a lot of layups. You just can't give those up. It's that's too bad. You know, because if they had just hit a couple of those, they would have won. But they were playing from behind the whole way. And then Nneka didn't have any points until any hoops. She got some foul shots. But she didn't have any baskets in the first 2.5 quarters. She hit her first hoop at the 6-minute mark in the third quarter. But just, you know, just to watch, I like both these teams, but I wasn't necessarily rooting for either one to win. Either way would have been fine with me, but just with what Seattle has gone through, and you know, another close game from Seattle, and you know, they had an opportunity. You know, they had 12 seconds, and they just couldn't. And they got multiple opportunities. They got one shot and then got the rebounding and got another one off, and just couldn't get it done. That's a bummer. That's going to hurt. The players from Seattle are going to be feeling that one for a while. So the Aces get the win 74-73. And I mean, Seattle went out to an early lead, but then they were playing from behind the rest of the way. First quarter, they were ahead 19-14, and then they only scored 7 points in the second quarter. That just really hurt them. They got outscored 19-7, and then it was just catch up the rest of the way, and they outscored them. So the Storm actually outscored the Aces in 3 of the 4 quarters. So third quarter 22-19, and then fourth was 25-22. They were just missing some shots that, oh boy, they're just regretting. Turnovers were 16-13. Seattle had 16 turnovers. But what a fast-paced game. This was just, I mean, it was like zip, 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 up and down the court. Seattle out-rebounded the Aces. Field goal shooting percentage, the Aces outshot them 45-40. 3-point percentage, Seattle did better. They were 38%, almost 39%. And the Aces were not great from three-point land. They were 25%. So, let's see here. So looking at the scoring, Asia Wilson had 38 points. And they were going to her like all the time. She took 26 shots. 26. That's crazy. Like, why wouldn't you just double her? Make somebody else beat you. The only one who even took double-digit shots was Jackie Young. She took 12 shots. Everybody else is like 3, 3, 2. Chelsea Gray took 8. Everybody else took 3 shots. Jewel Lloyd took 4. Just no help on the drives. Like, I can't believe that they didn't just put somebody, whoever was the closest defender when Asia got the ball, just trap her. Force her to give up the ball. They went one-on-one. And, for as much as Asia did, I mean, Seattle still should have pulled this one out if they had just made a couple of layups. So Asia had 5 rebounds. She was 10 for 11 from the line, 14 for 26 from the floor, which is 53%. Kirsten Bell, she got 7 rebounds. She didn't score. Nalissa Smith had 2 points. Jackie Young had 14. She was 6 for 12, 1 for 2 from 3. Chelsea Gray, 12 points. She was 5 for 8, 2 for 3 from 3. They don't give us the totals on this thing. So they only made 3 3-pointers. Jackie Young made 1 and Chelsea Gray made 2. It was a really low-scoring game. I mean, it was in the 30s in the third quarter. Like, it was like, I forget when I looked at it, and I'm like, oh my God, it's already the third quarter, and they have it was like 39 points or something. It was very good defensive battle, and what's surprising is it was so fast-paced, but yet the score was, usually when you get a fast-paced game like that, the score's higher, but not this one. So Jewel Lloyd, 4 points, Dana Evans had 2, and Cheyenne Parker-Tyus had 2. So that was that for the Aces. And then we go to Seattle. Seattle had 3 players in double figures. NECA ended up with 16 points, and considering she didn't even make a hoop until midway through the third quarter, that's pretty, it's too bad she didn't get going sooner. She ended up with 9 rebounds, 16 points. She was 7 for 8 from the foul line, but she was 4 for 13. Just didn't shoot well. So was Skylar. Both of them, 30%. That's too bad. Gabby Williams had 7 points. She was 3 for 6. She had 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 assists. Ezzy had 9 points, 5 rebounds. She was 4 for 7 from the floor, 1 for 3 from the foul line. And they missed. No, they shot pretty well. They only missed like 1, 2, 3. They only missed 4 foul shots. But, 2 of those and you win the game. This is surprising to look at this. I mean, Malonga was in there. She only made 3 points. She only hit 1 hoop and a foul shot. That's pretty surprising. I thought she scored more than that. Like, watching the game, it seemed like she had more points than that. But she was 1 for 5. Brittany Sykes was 4 for 5. But again, didn't take a whole lot of shots. Wheeler took 16 shots. She was 6 for 16, which is 37%. That's not great, but it's not horrible either. She was 2 for 7 from 3. She was the leading. Her and NECA were the leading scorers with 16 points apiece. But yeah, just they didn't shoot good enough. And the fact that they, this was a 1-point game and they didn't shoot that well. I think that's, why it wasn't so much that it was defense, but they just didn't shoot that well. Which is why the score was, in the 70s for that fast pace of a game. But anyway, the Aces move on, and they will be taking on the Indiana Fever, who upset the Atlanta Dream. So that will be one final semifinal game. And then the Mercury and New York will be playing tomorrow, and we will find out who will be taking on Minnesota. That ought to be interesting to see who comes out of that one. But hopefully the rest of these games are going to be just like this one as far as, down to the last minute. So the last 3 games, the Valkyries game came down to the last shot. The Fever game came down to the last shot. And now this one. So as fans or people watching the game, there's nothing better than that. It's just terrific. Just so exciting for these games to be like this. So anyway, that's all I have for this one. And appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button for me. And we'll see you next time.